Hello, welcome to your next flipped lesson for math. Today we're starting Unit 5. We're working in the Common Core Standard of solving problems involving the four operations and identity and explain patterns. So we're looking for those patterns again, not just being able to solve the problem. You are going to use your Go Math book for this lesson, so please go ahead and turn to page 181. We're going to complete pages 181 through 184 today. If you look at page 181, the outdoor club is planning a camping trip. Each camper will need a flashlight. One flashlight uses 4 batteries. How many batteries are needed for 8 flashlights? So again, we're going to start by looking at what the problem is asking us to do. We need to find out how many batteries are needed for 8 flashlights. Go ahead and underline and circle that just so we can keep those numbers straight in our head. And one flashlight uses the 4 batteries. So we know that we already have 2 numbers to help us solve these problems. We are going to use a table today to solve our problems. So they have created the table for us here. You're going to look at flashlights on the top row and batteries on the bottom row. Just looking for a pattern. If you think about this top row, you're counting by ones. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, counting by ones. I'm sure you are all smart enough you could continue that pattern. On the bottom, since we know that one flashlight uses 4 batteries, we have to start with the one flashlight needing 4. By doubling that, you know that the second flashlight, to have 2, you would need 8 batteries. And to have 3 flashlights, you would need 12. So knowing that one flashlight, again, is taking 4 batteries, we know that we can count by 4s. Okay? So we looked for the patterns to complete the table. As you look across the rows, you can see that the numbers of batteries increase by 4 for each flashlight. So for every flashlight, when you add another flashlight here, you have to add 4 more batteries. Okay? So that's our answer here. So for every flashlight, you have to add 4 batteries. Step 2, use the patterns to find the number of batteries in 8 flashlights. So here's our pattern. We're counting by 4s. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. Each one of these is plus 4. So if we continue that pattern, we would just simply add 28 plus 4. So add 4 to 28 batteries. And here is our addition sentence, 28 plus 4. Fill in what 28 plus 4 is there, please. You should have calculated that 28 plus 4 is 32. So 32 batteries are needed for the flashlight. Scrolling down on your page a little bit, you will see that another way to describe the pattern in the columns, and my page is going off here, so let me just move this up. Another way to look for it is using those patterns again and knowing that you can multiply to find those out. So 1 times 4 is 4, 2 times 4 is 8, 3 times 4 is 12, 4 times 4 is 16. So by using what you already know with those patterns, you should be able to do 8 times 4. Remember, when you do a times 4, you can double the double. So 8 times 2 equals 16, and then double your double of 16 times 2, which would again give you 32. Okay? Go ahead and fill in that page. Remember, if I'm going too fast, to go ahead and press pause anytime you need to. All these pages are falling off. Okay, now we're going to look at page 182. And again, we're trying to describe patterns, so not just jumping right in and solving the problems, but looking at them and being able to pick the problems out and figure out how to logically explain what we're writing about and finding the answers for. So it says the campers need 5 packs of batteries. If there are 8 batteries in each pack, how many batteries will be in 5 packs? So again, we have some good information here. Used a table again. So you have packs of batteries and how many batteries are needed. So we have 8 batteries are in each pack. So in one pack, you have 8. Okay? So think about what is happening here to this 2 to get to the 16. If you think about what times 1 would give you 8, you would repeat that pattern here. Because there are 8 batteries per pack, you're going to multiply each one of these by 8. Okay? So to describe the pattern, you're going to add 8 batteries for each pack. Go ahead and finish filling in this table, please, with the correct numbers. As we were saying before, using multiplication, describe a pattern. Multiply the numbers of pack by how many? How many batteries were in each pack? We're going to multiply it by 8, just like we said we were doing here. So by the time you get to 5 packs, you have 5 times 8, which equals something that goes here. Since it's a multiple of 5 that you're multiplying to, you can count by 5s 8 times. And you should know that 5 times 8 equals 40. And they have labeled it for you already. Okay, make sure that your page looks like mine so that you understand what we're doing. We'll move on to show and share, but if you need time to finish filling in this page or go back and understand it, please press pause. For share and show, again, it wants us to describe a pattern. How can you describe a pattern to find the cost of 4 packs of batteries? So they're using another table here for us. Packs of batteries, so you need to look for your pattern. See if you can figure out what the pattern is on these. Okay? The cost of 4 batteries, so we're looking for what would go in this area. The difference between 1 and 3, the difference between 2 and 6, the difference between 3 and 9. Since this starts out with a 1, it should be easy if we're using the identity property of multiplication that says the product of any number and 1 is that number. You should know that you are multiplying this. 1 times 3 equals 3. Don't automatically jump and think that you've solved the problem because you need to test it for the second one. So is 2 times 3 6? Yes. Is 3 times 3 9? Yes. So these have all worked because you've times it times 3. So go ahead and do 4 times 3. Again, you can double your double of 3 times 2 equals something, and then that times 2 will give you this answer. Make sure that you're writing all of this in your book so that when we come back to it later, you'll understand how we got to that solution. That is part of the describe a pattern. So to describe your pattern, I know that each pack costs $3. So I need to multiply times that $3. Hopefully yours will look a little bit nicer than mine. Okay, if you need time to fill it in, go to the bottom of the screen and press pause. Your next one, Number 2 says describe a pattern for the table, then complete the table. So again, look for those relationships. What is happening to my numbers that are already filled in? Something is happening to the 2 in order to turn it into a 4. Something is happening to the 3 in order to turn it into a 6. Think about those and what could be happening. 2 times something equals 4. We all know that 2 times 2 equals 4. So you're going to ask yourself the question, does 3 times 2 equal 6? Yes. Does 4 times 2 equal 8? Yes. So 5 times 2 equals 10. So you know that you're going to multiply both these last numbers times 2 to get your answer. Go ahead and finish filling in both of those for us. Moving on to number 3, look at the patterns. You have 1 turning to 6, 2 turning to 12, 3 turning to 18. Again, think about the identity property of multiplication because your first factor in here is a 1. What times 1 equals 6? 1 times something equals 6. The identity property tells me that it needs to be 6. So now test it. Is 2 times something equal 12? You will know that it is 6. If this is a true statement, test your next one. 3 times 6 equals, does it equal 18? Yes. So now you're ready to do this one. 4 times 6 and 5 times 6. Fill in those, please. On the bottom lines on both of those, it asks you to explain. So describe the pattern again. What are you doing to get from one number to another? And as long as you are following me and writing this type of stuff on your page, then you are explaining it. It tells me that you understand. If you're just filling in answers, you're not describing it. Okay? I am ready to move on to page 183. And we're going to look at part of 183, and then you are ready to go, because it does say at the top of page 183 on your own. It wants you to describe a pattern for the table, then complete the table. So you need to do that for all of these that are on here. Okay? Skipping down to number 10, it's one of those hot problems, so you might have to think about, it looks like there's a double table here. So you're going to have to figure out your 2 different types of information. Okay? Fill in this page, please, 183. Please press pause as you fill this in. And if you don't press pause, then you're not going to learn how to do this. So please press pause and complete the tables. Okay, hopefully you were able to do page 183 without a whole lot of problems. So we're going to move on to our problem-solving page. This is the page that I usually do with you. And we are going to look at these questions. It says use the picture graph for 11 through 13. This is our whole second unit that we did in Go Math, talking about using picture graphs. For this one, I want you to really, really use this space. And if you need to write number 11 here and show all of your work for number 11, that is a great strategy. Okay? You are actually going to complete this page on your own now and press stop on the video. Then you're going to check your pages that you did on your own. If you miss something, mark it by circling the number. So if you miss number 14 on a page, you're just going to simply take your pencil and circle it. Then you're going to use the answer guide and try to figure out maybe where you made your own mistake. By you looking and investigating, you're going to be a much better problem solver to figure out what you missed. Then you're going to come and see me so we can talk about it. Okay? And here are your answers. I hope that you enjoyed your 5.1 flipped lesson. I hope you learned something. And I hope that you took the time to do it correctly and fill it in. Please look at the math board for your next directions.